Coach Greg, and I'm here at the Arnold Classic, and I'm sitting on the cuck couch. You all know Larry's probably going to be here later, but that's besides the point. We're here to talk about Sam Sulek and Mike Somerfeld.
I get the risk of if I blow it, there's nobody else to blame. It's just me. That's what I like.
And so, essentially, we had David versus Goliath, Sam the underdog, a man who just 3 years ago, basically no one knew who he was. He was a simple young man posting on TikTok, showing his love and passion for the sport. Training harder than last time, heavy weights, learning and trying to discover his true passion for life. Since that time, he's almost posted every single day. So much so that I spent almost all night waiting for him to post, but yet he didn't. But he's competing in the biggest show of his life. And so throughout his career, he's always been the underdog. When he first did his amateur competitions, no one expected him to dominate and to turn pro, but yet he did. And to this day, 3 years later, not only is he competing in the second biggest show in the world, he's guaranteed to make the top 10. And why is that? Well, the front runner, the favorite, essentially the opposite of Sam Sulek, he's out of the competition. Mike Somerfeld, who has a very good coach, but despite that, he couldn't make the weight class. Or better still, he couldn't make the height.
It would have been a greater battle if he would join. But then the other thing is, it also has to be fair. He has to go on stage with a proper weight, and who knows what he's then really going to look like. At least not like he did last year when he won the Arnold. Maybe what he looked like at the Olympia, for example, which in my opinion was still a very good package. So if I was him, I would have just gone for that again to be sure to go on stage stress-free. So I don't really understand why they still went for more weight. So it's kind of a bummer that pretty much the defending champion can't defend his title.
And so here's the thing. If you register for the Arnolds and you diet for months, you make the weight. He should have known that he hadn't grown an inch, and so he should have dieted harder than last time.
The weigh-ins is just one step closer to that stage, right? So there's pressure, but we embrace it and we accept it, and we will do our best.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys, I appreciate you.
Neil Hill.
And seeing as he didn't make the weight, there was one thing that Mike could have done to make up for it. He could have said, you know what? I'm competing in the open. I don't care. I'm the smallest man by far, but I am going to make up for that with my classic shape and my shreds. But rather than doing that, he backs out of the competition. And so Mike, who could have been the underdog, he could have been the actual David against all the Goliaths in open, he decides to bow out, to not go and challenge himself. What do you think Sam would have done? If Sam hadn't have made the weight, well, it wouldn't have happened in the first place because he would make sure that he makes it. Sam would have competed and he would have used this as to be a source of inspiration to the world. And so Mike, he squandered this opportunity. The opportunity to get all the fans to rally behind him, to be the underdog. Because imagine, he went into the Arnolds as the clear favorite. A man who everyone had expected to dominate. But rather than that, he would be forced to compete in the open as the smallest man against all of the giants. What a story that would have made, but instead of that, no, I am not going to compete. And so what we quickly learned with Sam is that people don't care if Sam comes out first or last. What they care about is his attitude, his enthusiasm for the sport, and that has allowed him to amass 7 million followers on Instagram and over 4 million on YouTube. He has more fans than every bodybuilder in the world right now. And so what we clearly can see, especially seeing as I'm here at the Arnolds talking to other people, he is the talk of the town. And so he essentially has taken over the reins from superstar Chris Bumstead. And so because of Sam, we follow bodybuilding. And whether you're a fan of the sport or you're not, you are going to hear about bodybuilding. The fact that many athletes, they dedicate themselves for years, sometimes decades, in order to get up on that stage, to go through the training, perhaps 6 or 7 days a week, to eat healthy, to care about their appearance and their health. And of course, if you care about your appearance and your health, you are clearly getting your blood work done from Algo RX. And you all realize that you can train 100% natural and use supplements like Turk Builder Max or Geo2 Max and so on, that you don't need to abuse steroids to be a bodybuilder. Now, obviously, you have to abuse them if you want to win a major professional bodybuilding competition, but you can compete natural, you can be a bodybuilder, and you don't have to put your life at risk in order to get the benefits of bodybuilding. And so just because some people do use performance-enhancing drugs, you don't need to do them. And so I do encourage you to please try to stay natural and don't do things until at least you've hit your natural genetic limit, if that. And so regardless of how Sam plays, let's call it first, let's call it last. Does anyone actually care? All we care about, and I've been saying this for years, when you compete, whether you win or lose, your friends and family only want to see that you're happy. I've gone to competitions and I've won, and I've gone to competitions and I've lost. And what everyone just wants to know is, how do you feel about that? Are you happy? And so if Sam finishes in last, but he looks amazing, and he makes his typical video with his giddiness, his laugh, his crackling up, saying, I can't believe how I looked. I did so well. I got last place. Do you think anyone will be disappointed? Sam will say, hey, back to the drawing board. I'm going to come back next year. I'm going to put on 7 pounds more muscle. I love this sport. I love what it does for me. And we will be here rooting for him. Many people I read in the comments, you're a hater. You're jealous of Sam. And I'm thinking, do they not watch my videos? Just because I say Sam might finish in last place, do you think I'm a hater? I'm acknowledging how amazing each and every one of his competitors actually are. This is the second biggest bodybuilding show in the world, not by number, but by sheer quality. These athletes are amazing, and regardless of the category, whether it's classic physique, bodybuilding, or perhaps bikini and so on, they are the best of the best. And so Sam has shown that although he doesn't have Hani Rambod, although he doesn't have Mike the Badass's coach, he proves that you don't need these things.
It's not like that's better. I'm not saying I'm smarter than Hani Rambod, of course, but it's like, this is my thing. I just want to take control of it myself. So it's like I get the benefit of the credit, but I get the risk of, if I blow it, there's nobody else to blame. It's just me. That's what I like.
And so when you're a student of your craft, you're studying, you're watching YouTube videos, perhaps even you're watching my videos, and you continue to learn. You know your body best. Now, of course, you need the education. You need to learn from other people. But of course, you know your body best. And if you're doing the research and you're studying and trying your best, then that's all that matters. And hey, if you fail, you learn from that and you come back bigger and stronger next time. And so I'm certain all of you are going to be rooting for Sam, whether he comes in first, whether he comes in last. Does it really matter? What matters is that Sam is having fun. This is what bodybuilding is all about. You're thinking, oh, you're dieting all for a plastic trophy. Hey, you don't even win money. Well, whether he wins $50,000 or whether he wins nothing, he's competing for the love of it. He's posted almost every single day. He shows us that he loves to work out. He shows us his grocery shopping, his training, his dieting, his competing. And he speaks to us like a human being. Mike, unfortunately, he isn't respected in the same way that is Sam. He had an opportunity to do so by competing in the open class, but decided not to do so. Now, perhaps he doesn't have the confidence. Perhaps he feels like he wouldn't have won, and so what's the point? But the point is, you're here for fun, for a good time, to show off your physique. You've put in the work for 16 weeks. Whether you win against classic physique, or you get last or perhaps second last or whatever in open, does that really matter? Now, I understand, of course, you're going to not win the first place prize money, which is, of course, sad for many people. But at least you get to show your fans all the work that you put in. And so clearly very disappointing. I mean, was it not exciting when we watched Sebum return to Prague after retiring from classic physique and competing in men's open? And so we would have all wished to have seen Mike Somerfeld compete. He's an amazing bodybuilder. Perhaps he's just a little bit too big for classic physique. But this is what my advice is for Mike Somerfeld. For next competition, you lower the dose of testosterone just a little bit, enough to lose a little bit of muscle. Replace it with Turk Builder Max. It's going to have you looking dry, going to keep you having plenty of energy, and of course, it's not as strong as testosterone, but it is going to help you to keep that shredded looking appearance. And so if Mike Somerfeld had Coach Greg as his coach, he would have been on Turk Builder Max, he would have made the weight for classic physique, and he would have come out on top. And so if you are interested in getting coached by myself and my team, please click the link in the description. For AlgoRx, of course, you get your blood work done, ensure that you're healthy, you can get the things that you need. Perhaps it's GLPs, perhaps it's testosterone, perhaps it's enclomiphene, Cialis, whatever. And if you're interested in getting sponsored by HDLT supplements or carrying our supplements in your stores and or gyms, please click the link in the description. Enjoy the show, and let's use this as motivation to get into the shape of our lives, to eat healthy, to go to the gym, and to get in your minimum 150 minutes of cardio a week. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those two boobs. Excuse me from being in the couch again. This is not where I want to be. And until next time, I am out.